Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, let me be perfectly honest and blunt with you guys. Some mornings, most mornings, every morning, 365 days a year, I wake up in the morning about 1 or 2 a.m. to do this video, to do this video for this channel. And almost every morning, I'll go through the news feeds and I'll find something that'll make me feel strongly, angry, sad, happy, angry, whatever. And if it affects me that way, I usually think it'll affect other people too. So I'll talk about that. Some mornings, very, very seldom, I won't find a story. I'll just be blank. And today's one of those mornings. So I just go about my usual morning routine. And if anything comes into my mind that I start feeling strongly about, I'll do a video on it. So I'm doing my usual workout. 1,000 sit-ups was the routine this morning, and I'm about up to 700 sit-ups right now. And the TV show Jail was on TV in the background, and I noticed they were talking about the death penalty and how the U.S. Supreme Court found that the death penalty is not cruel and unusual punishment. So I want to talk about that. I'm not your usual liberal. A lot of people, I don't think there is any such thing as a usual or a status quo liberal. The death penalty. I feel that the death penalty is definitely needed. I really think that there's some people that have committed or will commit such atrocious, such disgusting acts. It's really like they're missing a piece of humanity, and I feel like they're it's not up to me to judge, but I just feel like they are a huge danger to society, and it's this stuff they've done is just unforgivable, like Jeffrey Dahmer, for instance. So I do believe in the death penalty 100%, but I kind of thought it was the U.S. Supreme Court finding that it's not cruel and unusual. I mean, if the government actually murdering you and taking your life is not cruel or unusual, I don't know what is. I am for it in certain situations, but I just think we should admit that it really is cruel and unusual, and we're okay with it being cruel and unusual. I don't know, that's probably a slippery slope. Okay, another thing, being a liberal. I told you guys before, my father was a park ranger. He ran a state park here in Connecticut, and he had a huge collection of guns. He passed away when I was 9 years old of brain cancer, and I inherited those guns, and I've always shot guns and pistols and all that. So I do not have a problem with the Second Amendment. I just think there should be more background checks. People that are convicted of domestic violence, stuff like that, drinking, any kind of substance abuse. I have a past history of substance abuse, and I often wonder, should that be taken into consideration? If you're thinking about giving somebody access to firearms, I've been clean and sober. I'm safe. I know how to handle a firearm, but a lot of people I used to hang out with didn't. So it's another situation where I'm for the Second Amendment. But there's a huge problem in this country. I think semi-automatic guns, particularly these AR-15s, are just made for one thing, and they're used over and over and over again in these things we see on TV. It's a problem. Back when we had the ban on this, there was not so many of these incidents, and that's just the facts. Okay, let's move on to, I have to call this, I don't know if I could actually use the word that begins with A, Roe versus Wade. I am a staunch supporter of women's rights. I don't think it's up to a man whatsoever what a woman does with her body. Yes, we had a contribution for about 15 minutes and one little excretion of bodily fluid, and that was our contribution, really. Whereas the woman carries this fetus, full term, being the mother. I really think it's a woman's choice. And particularly, I do not feel that a bunch of 60, 70, 80-year-old men sitting in Washington should have any say whatsoever about what a woman does with her body. Personally, I'm going to be I didn't plan on saying this. When I was younger, you know, one of my girlfriends got pregnant twice. The first time, I brought her and took her in for the procedure, and it bothered me. It was something I didn't want to do, but I also knew that I was using and drinking, and I knew that if I had that child, you know, it would have turned out badly. I wasn't prepared to be a father. When I walked into the clinic with her, there were people outside screaming all sorts of hideous things. This was like 35 years ago, and I still remember it crystal clear. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. The second time she got pregnant, I had agreed. I was kind of excited. I think I was just about 30 years old, and I was kind of excited to be a father. And I was at the bar one night, and I found out that she went and she got me all excited to be a father, and then she went and had ahead and terminated the pregnancy without me knowing. And it kind of made me angry, you know, because I had been excited. You know, I got myself in that frame of mind. You know, it hurt. Looking back, though, she did the right thing. I am totally grateful that she did do that, you know, because once again, I was still using and drinking. I've been clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006. I've got over 18 years clean and sober. Recovery is possible. I'm going to cut this now. I got to get back to my sit-ups. I still got 300 or 400 sit-ups to go. And I think I'm running out of room on this camera. So I'll be back later with another video. You guys, let me know what you think. The death penalty, Second Amendment, women's rights, what to do with their body. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Have a good Sunday.